he's that dude. You know what I mean? So
yeah, no,
he's not really a fierce competitor.
How has it been for you guys so far? Has this been a huge challenge for you?
It has. It really has. This has been a learning curve every week. Every week it gets a little bit more stressful because the competition is so intense. And it's also been incredibly beautiful for us in a bonding experience. You know, last week we had a couple days there where it didn't feel good in the room. It got stressful and it got intense, and it put our communication to the test to tell each other why we were feeling the way that we were. You know, this experience, other people that come onto it come on with the role of coach and student. Even when it was like, say, Nikki and Adam, and they had, you know, a flirtatious connection, it was still coach and student. We come in this as a partnership and as equals, and now we step into that room and I'm the one telling him what he's doing wrong every day for hours. And that can make you sensitive. And when I feel like he's shutting down, then I get sensitive.
No, definitely.
So it's really been a test for us to communicate and find an amazing workflow. Oddly, this being Disney Week, we have 2 dances. We've actually found a beautiful workflow. I think we really passed a milestone for us last week in understanding how this process can work for us. And it's been really enjoyable. I mean, we have a Snow White number, and he's, you know, the prince, and it's very, very beautiful. And we're also doing a Pirates of the Caribbean number. So
Fun.
2 polar opposites. One we're in love, one we're fighting. And, you know, even though we get stressed and we get really tired and we get home and we're just absolutely dead, we are still saying, you know, how much of an amazing experience this is to look back at and be like, oh my gosh, we did that together, you know, and we just want to be able to do it for as long as we possibly can. I'm having the time of my life dancing with the love of my life on a show that I love so much. I'm just in an abundance of love right now. And as stressful as it gets, I remember that I'm so very grateful for that, and grateful for his courage to want to do it too. It's pretty ballsy to be like, yeah, all right, I don't know if I'll be good at this, but sure, let's get out there and do it. And I think he's had that fear of disappointing me. And that's where some of that comes from, this deep concern that if he lets me down, then I'll be mad at him, or it will cause an issue for us. But as I've said to him, he could never let me down. Just by having the courage to step into this arena, I'm so proud of him, because I know how hard it is, and I know the struggles that he has. So yeah, I'm really proud of him, and he's amazing, and he's doing what he can do. He's in a competition with a sea of dancers. It's very intense. The competition is super fierce this season. Yes, it is. There's people that are professional dancers, and he tends to be like, well, he's comparing himself to them because he wants to be great for me, I think. And I said to him, you can't compare yourself to anyone. You know, the best example I can use is that we had pretty much a final of dancers, and I won with Bobby Bones.
Right. No.
You know, like, it doesn't, just because people have dance talent, it doesn't mean that they are the ones that are going to win it. It is always about the favorite. And we've even said we're not necessarily trying our hardest to win this. We're trying our hardest to stay into the end because we want all those memories. But the goal is not to beat out the rest of the competition. You know, Bry's the guy that's making sure he sees everybody, wishes them good luck, tells them how good their performance was. If he sees someone that's nervous, he goes up and gives them, you know, some love and a pep talk. He's that dude. You know what I mean? So
yeah, no,
he's not really a fierce competitor.
Right. No, I was talking to Jenna yesterday, and she said that Brian and JoJo have a great bond as well, that he's always like uplifting people behind the scenes, which I think is so great.
Yeah. They're having a fun. He and JoJo are probably bonded, I think, the most from the GMA stuff that they did. Their banter is hilarious with each other, and I love watching that. They have a lot of fun.
I love that. You know, you said, you know, last week got a little stressful. Is it hard for you guys not to bring the dance home with you, or do you kind of shut it down when you get home and be like, all right, that all stays on the dance floor?
So that's the reason we have to shut it down and leave it at the studio. And there's been 1 or 2 times where we'll talk about it at home if it was a stressful day, just so we can clear it. But we know that no matter what happens in that studio, that is a different role for us. That is a completely different world. It's a bubble of something else. And when we come home, we just have to be Brian and Sharna in a relationship. And yeah, for me, sometimes that is hard because normally in the season, I'm 24/7 thinking about this, and I'll come home and watch the videos and do the notes, and I'll do prepping for the next week and research for the next week. So I don't ever really step away from it. So it's really me that has to be conscious and mindful of not bringing the work home and doing my notes and being like, hey, baby, I'm going to need you to point your foot on 5 or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I've got to leave him alone so he can get the air from it. And I think it's really me that's learning that the most. I think because I am so obsessive about it and I love it so much. If he's in front of me, I just want to fix it and say it now. Sure. So that's my learning curve. But it helps. We have to come home and just love each other and then fix the rest when we get back into the studio. I don't want to do you feel like judges play favorites sometimes? And should we not have that many people with dance backgrounds on the show? Like, do you think that's a disadvantage? So for me, I think this many people with dance backgrounds is a positive and a negative. It's so exciting to watch the dancing level, right? You get so many great pieces of dance every week, but then also at the same time, it makes it really, really tough for those that don't have dance experience, especially now with that judge's save. So that judge's save, like, say you're a really, really big fan of a couple that's kind of in the middle but has the potential to grow what this show is still about, but they accidentally end up in the bottom with a couple that has, way more dance experience, but, maybe not as big of a journey, then you end up losing that couple's journey of this human growing with dance and expanding with dance. And I think we miss that a little bit sometimes. But, also the judges' save helps us keep some amazing talent that deserves to be on the floor. So, I think there's positives and negatives to having so much dance talent. I personally love watching it because I just love, cheering everyone on. I'm geeking out over everyone's work this season. But, it does put the pressure on someone like Bri or Iman or those that don't have dance experience. So, but you can't ever make everyone happy, girl.